If you've ever stared at a wall of airbrush kits online and felt completely lost, you're not alone. The market is flooded with options that all look the same in the photos, and figuring out which one actually works for your specific thing, whether that's miniatures, gunpla, fishing lures, sneaker customs, barbering, or automotive touch-ups, takes way more research than it should. I went deep on 7 airbrushes so you can skip that headache. Every product link is in the description. Let's get into it. The Gaahleri GHAD-39 is where most people should start, and I don't say that lightly. It's a dual-action gravity feed brush with 2 needle combos, a 0.35mm for everyday work, and a 0.5mm for thicker stuff like primers and varnishes. 2 fluid cups, quick-release air valve, adjustable trigger tension, the whole package. What surprised me is how well machined it feels for a budget brush. There's a balanced weight to it that cheap airbrushes just don't have. The real standout is the floating threadless nozzle. On most budget brushes, you screw a tiny brass nozzle in with a miniature wrench, and I cannot overstate how easy it is to snap those threads during cleaning. Gone. Brush ruined. The GHAD-39 sidesteps that with a compression fit that slides in and self-centers. For Warhammer painters doing zenithal highlights, Gunpla builders laying down base coats, or anyone restoring die-cast models, this brush does the job and then some. Getting razor-thin precision lines takes more practice here than on a premium brush, but that's a fair trade when the premium costs 4 times more. Use the included needle lubricant immediately. It's not optional, it's what makes the trigger return properly. Gaahleri also ships replacements instead of making you deal with returns, which removes a lot of buying anxiety. Replacement parts are easy to find too, so this is something you can maintain long-term. Now, if you want that same brush paired with a compressor ready out of the box, the Gaahleri Turbox Mini kit bundles them together. The Turbox Mini is this sleek digital compressor with 18 pressure settings, 3 quick presets, and a temperature screen with automatic shutoff. It stays below 48 decibels. Your fridge is probably louder. Say it's almost midnight and you've got miniatures half painted on your desk. With this running, someone sleeping next door wouldn't hear a thing. The suction feet and anti-resonance construction absorb vibrations beautifully. Here's what you need to understand about tankless mini compressors though. The gauge reads around 33 psi on standby, but sustained working pressure settles closer to 14 or 15 psi once you pull the trigger. That sounds alarming, but it's genuinely fine for properly thinned acrylics. You just can't push thick paint straight from the pot. There's also a compatible mode toggle on the back that changes the motor cycling for ultra-fine nozzles under 0.3mm, preventing the rapid start-stop stutter that kills cheaper compressors. That's a feature borrowed from industrial units. Okay, completely different direction. The Kurpin GX777 throws out the compressor entirely. Fully cordless, battery-powered USB-C charging, with the compressor integrated right into the body. No hoses, no cables, just you and the brush. This one carved out its niche in barbershops and nail salons, and once you understand why it makes perfect sense. Barbers mist semi-permanent dye onto hairlines and beard contours, and the gentle pressure lays color down so naturally it's undetectable. No harsh painted-on look, virtually zero overspray on the client's skin. Nail techs get clean stencil edges and smooth gradients without flooding the nail bed. Where the Turbox Mini gives desktop power in a quiet package, the GX777 gives total mobility at the cost of no adjustable PSI. You control everything through trigger feel and paint viscosity. There's a 2-step activation, button first, then trigger, that feels odd for about 5 minutes before muscle memory takes over. Most barbers end up preferring the tactile feedback here over chunky pistol grip alternatives. The low noise output also means no disruption in a busy salon full of conversation. Wait till you see this next one. The Yaguan Wen01 is also battery-powered, but pumps out 32 psi, a massive leap over typical cordless units. Instead of mounting the compressor under the brush and wrecking your wrist, this kit separates them with a braided air hose. Set the compressor on your desk, clip it to a belt, whatever works. You get about an hour of continuous spray per charge. Think outdoor convention painting, priming models on your porch to keep fumes out of the house, or decorating cakes at a venue with no outlets. The compressor puts out consistent pressure, though the included brush has looser tolerances that make deep cleaning more involved. The community trick is pairing this compressor with a quality brush you already own. Suddenly you've got a portable station that punches way above its weight. The dual battery setup means one charges while the other runs, so you're never stuck waiting mid-project. For thick, stubborn mediums, the Miki KL028A is a different beast. Corded desktop system with 3 presets. 22, 30, and 50 psi. 50, it ships with 3 needle sizes, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.5 millimeters, plus a full cleaning kit with reamers. Here's where it matters. You're customizing sneakers with Angelus leather paint. That stuff is heavy with pigment and laughs at low-pressure compressors. Set the KL028A to 50, load the 0.5 nozzle, and the paint atomizes cleanly because there's enough force to shear through that viscosity. Same with metallic flakes for automotive work, food-grade cocoa butter for elaborate cake designs, or heavy enamels on RC bodies. Compared to the GHAD-39, which excels at finesse with thinned hobby paints, this one handles brute force applications where the paint itself fights back. The fixed presets mean you can't fine-tune to an exact 18 psi for delicate washes, but for thick mediums, nothing here competes. Despite all that power, it stays around 40 decibels, quiet enough for home use. The Gochier 101 BMC is a controversial pick, and I want to be upfront about why it's here. Cheapest complete kit on the list, basic dual-action brush with a small tankless compressor. The advertised 48 psi is more of a theoretical ceiling. Working pressure sags significantly, and the loose machining can cause air to leak backward into the cup and bubble paint instead of spraying it forward. Next to the GHAD-39, which costs only slightly more and gives you a floating nozzle and real customer support, the Gochier is a tough sell on paper. So why include it? There's a genuine argument that struggling with difficult hardware teaches you faster. If you can get this brush to lay down a smooth coat using the beeswax thread sealing trick the community developed, you'll understand paint viscosity and airbrush mechanics at a level that makes everything else feel easy afterward. It's the hard way in, but it works. And then there's the Badger Patriot 105. American-made, been an industry standard for decades, and there's a reason it never goes away. Large permanent fluid cup, a chunky 0.5mm needle you'd have to actively try to damage, and a self-centering nozzle that goes back together perfectly every time. The firm trigger pull gives deliberate control when pushing thick material. Warhammer players batch priming 100 models, wargamers sealing terrain with polyurethane varnish, anyone doing high-volume work, this is their brush. The wide spray cone is outstanding for rapid coverage, but not built for painting pupils on 28mm figures. For that, you'd pair it with the GHAD-39. One quirk, Badger uses proprietary threading on the air intake, so you'll need an adapter for standard 1/8 inch fittings. What really separates the Patriot is the ecosystem behind it. Decades of forum knowledge, cheap replacement parts, and proven community fixes for every possible issue. Even hobbyists who eventually buy expensive detail brushes keep this one permanently connected for priming and varnishing. So here's my honest breakdown. Best starting point for miniatures, gunpla, and general hobby work, grab the Gaahleri GHAD-39. Complete quiet apartment setup, the Turbox Mini kit. Barbershop or nail salon, the Cordless Kurpin GX777 was purpose-built for that. Portable power for outdoor work or conventions, the Yaguan Wen01. Thick paints on sneakers, leather, or automotive projects, the King Miki KL028A and its 50 psi output. Absolute tightest budget and willing to earn it, the Gochier 101 BMC. Lifetime priming workhorse, the Badger Patriot 105. All links in the description. Let me know in the comments what you're planning to spray, and I'll see you in the next one.